What's up, guys? I just got back from the Gem and Mineral show that they had up in Topsfield Fair, up in Massachusetts. Not too far, about an hour and 15 minutes drive from where I live in Rhode Island. And I got there early so I could get a bunch of the cheap, good stuff. I could probably resell most of these for 2 to 3 times the amount I paid for them. This one, it was the score of the day, though. I paid $1 for this. It's a piece of, I think, Celerite. I got a bunch of cool rocks. Anyways, I want to show them off. This geode. I don't know if it's artificial or if it's real, man. It's just weird. The colors are like too good to be true. Anyways, I just wanted to put a video together, and I got a couple of comments recently, people saying dumb stuff, little kids or something. Here's my favorite one though. This one was I have always wanted to buy one of these. This is a spinel. If you can see that, perfect octagon shape to that. I've always wanted one of these. Tried to find a couple people that knew something about meteorites. I asked some of the people that seemed more knowledgeable about rocks, but couldn't find a real meteorite expert. But again, we did get in touch with a guy named I won't say his name right now, but he is a meteorite authentication expert, and I've been talking to my lab friends who helped me with the analysis that we did on that other meteorite, and we got some more interesting results back that I wanted to go over as well. I'm gonna have to do a write up on this, and this needs to be done with a whole paper and stuff for the in-depth analysis. That there's no way I can cover all this stuff because I didn't do it, and I'm not the scientist who did this analysis. I have a bachelor's degree in physics. I know there's some people that are like, oh, this dude's a tile guy. What the fuck is he sitting here talking about, like, physics, and why should I listen to him, like, what he has to say? And I'm just a genuinely interested person. I've been into this game quite a while now. I do science. I have a bachelor's degree in physics, so I have a lot of scientist friends and access to a lot of things. So this is, but in any case, that's not like I do tile for work because I've worked for other people. I've worked for companies, and they like to not pay you good money, and they like to just, I don't know. I've made more money working for myself as an independent contractor than I've ever had a job offer to me from anyone for any of the fields I've ever been in. And I've worked with a lot of different people in a lot of different areas and stuff. But I've done a lot of different things, so I've got a little bit of knowledge in a lot of different areas, like I mentioned, PLCs and control systems. And stuff like that. But in any case, this was some of the stuff that we found in the metal under a microscope, and this, I think, was a cavity where there was fibers that were actually found in this material that we're still analyzing. We're not sure if it's fiberglass or if it's, we definitely found evidence of these fibers embedded in the material, whatever they are. And we want some kind of another lab to analyze a piece of this. Of course, it needs to be taken in, blasted off. Done that with that laser where they melt all the rust off the surface and kill all the bacteria, kill all traces of anything that could be a contaminant on there. Put it into a clean room environment. And then crack it open and take a sample from the inside there and find one of these fibers, isolate it. I was talking to some of him with some of his lab friends about ways to isolate these fibers, about ways that you could dissolve the iron with certain types of acid that wouldn't eat away at the fibers if they were these fibers. But that's what's going on with the meteorite. We get this authentication expert, and we really need I found these when I was sanded the edge and polished the edge down, I actually found these hard things that would pop out of the metal, and I suspected that they might be nano diamonds that were embedded in there if it is a meteorite, because some meteorites from interstellar, these weird ones that have a weird metallurgical consistency, like this piece of iron does. They would tend to contain these nano diamonds if they're from, say, a neutron star, or a supernova, or some other type of galactic event that these things are flying around, just still floating around from a long time ago, just out there. But well, this obviously, I don't know. Lord knows how long that meteorite's been in the Earth, anyway. So so the analysis right now is to try to find those nano diamonds and do an isolation on those. And I've collected some of the dust, and I still am waiting to bring that back to look at that under a microscope and look for some more evidence of this. And we have a piece that's dissolving in some acid, a small little chunk of this that's dissolving in some acid, to try to bring out some of these nano diamonds or these fibers, if we can. We've isolated a couple that I've heard, but I haven't heard the analysis back on that. But we also, I've been talking to Brian and Tanya about setting up a GoFundMe, because she really needs to get some money, and I need to help her out and get her some money in all this. So I want to I'm thinking about setting up a GoFundMe, right, and getting that started. But I'm gonna get a hold of them today and see if we can't do that. And if anyone wants to, I might even auction some of these pieces off. She was suggesting I could maybe, I have these 3 pieces that she sent me. This is the one that Brian says he found a similar sample, like this came from a sample that contained the most abundance of these fibers. So this is the one I want to save to send off to whichever lab agrees to do the analysis on this. This could be analyzed, because this one's got the most fibers in it. This one is the one that she said she wants back. She really, this is a real valuable piece. This is the most interesting piece on the whole thing that she cut out and took. This was one of the most interesting samples on there. So this is a real thick, interesting piece. This is a real thin piece, and it just shows some of this crust of whatever the surface is on this thing. Could give some telltale. Again, I'm not an expert, neither is anyone of the people I showed it to at the German Mineral Show. And Bob Varish, I think, has seen this too. So I don't know if what his thoughts are. We're still waiting to hear back from some of these guys who are meteorite experts on this. But anyways, this piece, I was thinking about auctioning this off, maybe, or doing something with that. Actually, let me see this. I get the stream, and I'm blocked on there. My window's too large. I was showing off my rock collection. Again, this spindle from Burma, my favorite one. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to. I didn't notice, and I don't have any. I'm running the chat by myself. I'm in the process of actually setting up a friend is getting a podcast situation set up where I'm going to help. I got another dude who runs a podcast, and he's like a comedian, and I'm going to be the background guy, like Joe Rogan's Jamie. I'm going to be like his background guy running the pictures and the scenes. So because it's really hard to like communicate with the crowd, answer questions, ask questions, do the super chats and all that other kind of stuff. And also show pictures off and handle a stream without like someone else helping you coordinate. It's really hard. I do it all by myself, and I have up until this point. So I'm going to work with another guy where we're going to work together so that I'm going to train him, give him all the pictures and go over everything with him, so he can kind of be the background guy, or I can get a background guy if I can find another guy who I can train. But anyways, we're going to have a real podcast studio and a real like setup very soon. I have tons of equipment that I just don't have room for or set up here. I got a mixing board and you know, a condenser mic and a audio preamp and a bunch of other stuff. So I have some pro equipment for I can really set up a good podcast studio, but just bear with me for right now. And anyways, I want to set up a GoFundMe or some way I can get Tanya here some money, because her son is in some serious trouble, and she's getting very stressed out having to sit on this potentially, you know, this valuable meteorite, which could be worth, you know, a ton of money, and we don't know if it's a meteorite, and she wants to sell it, do what she can with it. She's thinking about just putting a couple pieces up, you know, 1 pound piece, and then putting it on eBay and auctioning it, and we might do that very soon. So if anyone's interested in that, just keep that bell rung and subscribe to my channel and keep perked for when that does go on sale, because you want to get that those kind of things right away. If we do end up selling some of this to make some quick cash for her, and also to fund the experiments that we have going on very shortly here. So I've made up a bunch of pieces of glass. Let me find that picture again here for the next stage of the experiments and what we're going to do here. And I'm working with some real talented material scientist guys on you know, taking this technology a whole step further, because I've been looking online, right, first off. So anyways, let me take a break and well, I'm going to get to the tile stuff and talk about what I do as a work and promote my business at the end of this if people are interested in that, because that's some of the more boring stuff. But I wanted to show people what's up with the glass situation and this experiment, the experiments that we are doing or about to do. So all right, here it is. So voila, I have these pieces. I have to cut these into octagons. They're going to go in between these the copper plates in between these, and for this capacitor array that we're going to build. And it's basically modeled after. Let me go to technology. And you can find this on my website if you go to technology tab, anti-gravity, and it's electrogravitics. Sorry, not anti-gravity. It's electrogravitics. So this is the whole discovery, and this is the original drawing that he had with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of glass. Between these, oh, actually it's 5 pieces of glass, sorry, between these copper plates. So we had glass and then copper plates, this gravitator array. And I've tried looking for experiments for this, you know, Bifeldt-Brown gravitator experiment. You know, and you find this. I don't have any of these there where it's got these old videos of these people doing it, but I haven't found anyone like doing it themselves except for this guy. And he uses a very interesting and crude contraption capacitor with no shielding. Very you know, I don't really trust this guy's setup and the way he designed it. He must have poured this molten glass in this thing with this array to have it set up this way. And now he's got it wrapped with some plastic or something. But anyways, this is the only experiment I've found for anyone who's done this experiment. And so this is old news. I mean, this is, or it's relatively it's old news. It's from the 1920s, and it's gotten some interest, you know, and I've talked about it. You know, there's been some speculation and rumor about the B-2 stealth bomber. Well, not rumor, it's really known that it does this. It has these basically I think they're almost like Van de Graaff generators. They supercharge the exhaust trail, so all the exhaust that comes out of this exhaust trail is supercharged, and then it deposits the alternate I think the positive charges on the leading wing edge of the craft. And what that does is it builds up a electrostatic force that basically it reduces the bow shock on that big large wing area, all that surface area, and apparently it increases the radar. It reduces the radar signature of the aircraft as well, but it was something about it being virtually an anti-gravity effect or an air warping effect, an air bending effect, more so. So there's a big controversy about whether this is warp drive and it's producing actual warp drive effects, which it would if it was completely shielded like it is in this, with this wrapped up like this, completely shielded. This is a kind of a different experiment than the high voltage electrostatics with the discs that are shown on the left and right here. But this experiment, no one's ever done this. I haven't found anyone who's done this. So we actually set up a GoFundMe page for this, and I have a link to this in the description. So you guys, I would like you to share this and tweet about it. In fact, I'm going to tweet about it right now. Boom, done. 2 clicks, tweeted and shared, and I might even donate, even though it's my own, kind of experiment. I guess I'll donate just to show people how easy it is. Maybe we'll start. Actually, maybe I won't donate and give all my information out to everybody right here, but I will donate $20 after this video is over to the experiment that we want to do. And the first experiment is going to be, it's easy enough. I already cut these glass plates, right? I have them right here, and I cut them. I'm going to send them in the mail to this guy. I'm going to cut a bunch of 4-inch ones too for the linear array of plates. We're going to build a linear array. Start with 5 that he had in that setup, and maybe go build, maybe try 10 as well. Double it up, why not? So yeah. I think this experiment will be interesting to do, and my friend Mark down with the lab in New Jersey has the high voltage equipment to do it, and the Faraday cage and the setup. So we're gonna get this going, and I'd like you all to help us kickstart it and donate to get this going, and now I'm gonna kind of talk about I'm gonna it's my girlfriend and my kid. I'm gonna talk about my my tile business and what I do for work, and we'll start with this job. This is my most recent. So this is a buddy of mine, and he's been saying that he had someone else start this tile job and didn't finish it, and they didn't know what they were doing, and he said that, we got it like most of the way there, but he needs someone who could come in and just finish the rest of the job and save it. Basically, he said he was starting to screw some things up, and he was unsure about his ability to continue and finish it. So he wanted me to come in and rescue this. So none of this is my work so far. They didn't pre-slope the curb. They didn't waterproof it on this outside edge or on the floor outside where you'd be getting out after the shower, or where the vanity is going. Right where I'm standing is where the vanity goes, where the sink is going to be. So this was how it was when I got there. They had these ugly brown shelves in with this like 1.5 or 2.5 inch reducer edge. It's a threshold, and this was like a reducer, and it was just not working out for a shower shelf. It took out of a small shelf area, it took a lot, where you want to stack all your shampoo bottles and stuff, and soaps and everything. It's body wash or whatever you have up there. You're gonna want to crowd them in, you know, and that takes a whole lot of space off with having that stupid edge and that ugly color. He didn't like it. I didn't like it. I told him that's got to go. It's the only thing I'm ripping out of this guy's work, even though I could have done a lot of this probably better. I'm gonna leave it as is and just work around it and finish it. This was not completed, so I just figured I'd start there. Boom, knocked that out. Pre-sloped the curb, mortared it all in to fill the holes. Pre-sloped that, mortared it in. Pre-fit the stone. Went and bought this stone, nice piece of Carrara marble. Smashed out these shelves, removed them. I had to grind out this opening a little bit to fit the other slab in, and I ended up damaging and penetrating some of that waterproofing membrane behind there a little bit, so I had to pre-fit those, and then when I waterproofed this curb and this bench, I went and waterproofed in there too, just to fill in those gaps, make sure that there was no leaks in there if there's any water on those shelves. He wanted me to set these stones across there to finish this ceiling off, and I don't have a picture of it, but I finished the tops there too. And then I was playing around with the stone slabs and the layout of where this would land, and this whole setup, and trying to figure out a solution to this, because he kind of left me with a funky corner thing here that I didn't fully know exactly how to deal with. So I ended up doing it this way. I probably would have sawn that straight and then put the chair rail going up that way, but it would have been funky going at a 40, you know, not quite a 45, like a 30-degree angle out this way. Anyways, I mortared that slab in and set this. This had to set overnight, and then I set this floor, and I built this surround the next day. Put this vanity in. This was 2 days of work, 1 day of shopping, 3 days that I did this in. So, and that's where I'm at now. I set this floor, but I ended up with half a sheet short to finish to here. I probably could have got away with half a sheet, you know, of stone, and they might have to buy a whole nother box to finish this job, just to finish that. That's how much they were short. And I was trying to talk the guy out of using this pebble and trying to talk him into doing a different kind of floor. And you know what, we went with the pebble, but whatever, it is what it is. But anyways, that's the last job I did. So, and I tell you what, you know, you know what these big time contractors charge for this work, and then they send guys like me out there to do it. And I did it. I worked for a company doing this, learning it for a couple of years. And then I watched a lot of videos online. I joined a lot of Facebook groups like the Misfit Tilers. You'll find me in there. I worked for the guy who runs that group, actually. Good friend of mine now. He moved to Texas, out of this area. But yeah, guys, so my link to my business is down there. If you or know anyone in the Rhode Island, I might go to Eastern Connecticut, or around, you know, Massachusetts. I'll probably drive somewhere anywhere in Massachusetts if it's the right kind of job. So I'll solicit my business on here. Why not? I'm registered and insured. So I'm not I'm also interested in doing a lot of these other weird types of tiling that you probably wouldn't find a contractor to do, like these custom cut tiles and stuff. And I know a person who owns a kiln and did some tile and does some tile making, so I might be able to contract them to make custom tiles. This was just wrong jobs that were done wrong. But yeah, this custom tile work that we can do. If needed, you know. And I know a hardwood guy and a laminate guy that's on top. All right. So, anyways, let me find some more you literally want to see proof that this is what I do and that I don't work for the CIA like some of these people on my comments are suggesting. Look, this was literally my comment. You're part of the government office who discredits whistleblowers. What a boring job for the CIA to lie and cast propaganda as if it's going to help. As long as you get your government paycheck and eventually a pension, you're good, right? However, what a wasted life spewing lies for the agency. You know? Jim Scott. He's got a car for his picture. He's probably 14 or 12. Anyways, yeah, Jim, this is my work at the CIA. I'm about to show you all about it. So I hope you're ready. I'm going to show you all about my work at CIA. This is all the tile jobs that I've done in the past year, maybe 2. So let's go and we'll go through them all. Mr. CIA. Here's this one right there at the end. Go right back to the beginning. Yeah, there we go. Oh, so that's that shower. This was a floor I did for my friend. He does contracting sometimes for a big flooring contractor. I won't name the contractors or the people I worked for, but you know, just because of privacy or whatever. But this was a major installer that does a lot of floors incorrectly, and they're notorious for it, and they're real popular, and they have a lot of ads on the TV in this area. They do a lot of floors, and they screw them up. But my buddy here is this El Salvadorian dude, and he's nasty. He's really good at just all his woodwork and stairs and everything that he does, and he really knows his stuff, and he's on top of his game. And he's the guy that they send to do repair and fix jobs. And he brings me because he likes to say that he likes to brag to this company that he can do everything, but he doesn't really know tile. And so he has me come on the tile jobs and do the tile jobs with him so that he can take credit for it with the company and be like, yeah, I'm the master and I know all about tile. And it's really just me and my copy of the TCNA handbook, you know, where I'm like, all right, well, let me consult the TCNA handbook and see about that. And if you don't know what the TCNA handbook is, it's the Tile Council of North America's handbook. And the number one person or group of people that buy that book are actually, believe it or not, lawyers. Because when it comes time to sue your contractor for the shitty job that they did, lawyers have to have some kind of code or written book by experts to consult, and that's the book that they go to. In this case, this person used a quarter-notch trowel right here and then switched to the sawtooth notch trowel. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe the handle broke on their quarter-notch trowel, in which case I would have stopped right there and gone to the store and bought another one, or found a way to finish the floor with the one I had. Really, I keep a lot of different every different size notch trowel, so I could always use a 3/8 notch and just hold it down at a real small angle if I really needed to. But anyways, they screwed that up, and I had to stop there during the demo to take a picture of that. The whole floor was uneven and just lippage everywhere, and the layout was wrong to begin with. The cuts were terrible around these door jambs, as you can see. That he covered everything, just smeared grout everywhere to cover the fact that he had these, you know, 1/4 inch to, you know, huge, you know, gapes around these doors. So just didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, that was his floor. When we ripped it out, of course, when I ripped it out, I undercut the jambs, as you can see in this picture. I don't know. I have an undercutter where you cut under the jambs and then slide that way you can slide the tile under it and it hides it better. And I had to clean all this grout that he left on it off. You know, we cleaned it all up and really saved this floor. I went and we had to do like an hour worth of chipping gun on to scrape all the mortar clean, rather because that's a lot easier than going down to bare minimum and resetting hardy backer over the whole floor, because you'd have to do that anyway if you ripped up the hardy backer, because it's glued down to the floor beneath it, or at least it should be. God, I hope they did that. Not my problem if they didn't, though. I think they did. I think I saw a piece in the corner where I could see the mortar coming out from underneath it. But anyways, that was a floor we did for them. This was another floor I did. This is a shower tub surround. They're going to reglaze. He wanted to keep this ugly blue tub, but he's going to reglaze it. And I lined up all the grout joints. The wall tile is the similar tile. So I was able to line up everything, and very symmetric, and redo this bathroom. I'll go back in time and show you what it looked. Maybe I should start back in time and show you what the before instead of the after. And so we did the after, and now we're doing during phase. I use these clips to on these large format tiles because it's just easier to get them straight and everything. But I'm very exact about all my work, and that's the kind of exactness that I put into my research, or I try to put into my research, and that's why I like tile work, because it's very precise and very exact, and that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. And that's why I choose it. It's my favorite type of work to do. And this was the not that same bathroom. Hold up. Oh, that was this is the same bathroom we're doing the plumbing. That was that same bathroom with that nice niche in the shower. And I actually set that niche beforehand, and it lined up. I measured the tile out from where I was going to line it up, and it landed perfectly. It ended up landing perfectly afterward. I was surprised. This is that bathroom beforehand. That same bathroom. I ripped this old one out. He kept the tub, of course. Same tub. He was going to reglaze it. Same thing. Wanted this floor and this pink tile surround taken down. And this is some backsplashes I was doing. This is a tub at another house that I'm doing. Might redo this bathroom. They have a wood floor in the bathroom. Terrible, terrible. Needs to be ripped out and do tile. Always do tile in the bathroom and the kitchen. Tile is, unless you like absolutely can't. This is a backsplash. Backsplashes are getting real popular up around here. A lot of people like them. I love them. They're a nice, easy afternoon or day, a day and an afternoon to come back and grout. Even in these hotels, they're doing them. This is that other tub, that one I just did a do-over over this tile floor rather than rip it out. This was the prep work on that bathroom with the 12 by 24 and 12 by 12 porcelain. Well, it looks like white Carrara marble, but it's actually porcelain tile. This is where the sink went. I waterproof everything, of course, all the corners and the seams. If water gets on the floor, it goes to a corner of the room, or leaks to a corner of the room, gets off the slab and into the wood in the wall area, and then it causes water damage to the property. You want to minimize that, so I always do this waterproofer layer around the seam up about 2 inches, so that it forms like a bathtub layer in the bathroom, literally, where you could flood this whole bathroom out to about 2 inches high, and it will start pouring out the front door before it floods into the walls and the gaps in the walls in the bathroom where you did your work. So it will go into another area of the house where it won't be your problem and your fault in a lawsuit at all. So. Again, if we have water problems that serious, then the waterproofing is not going to help. It's another problem. It's a different problem. Require different solutions. So, anyways, this is where I pulled the old vanity out. It was really old. I think it was left there. This is options that I have for different tile. I had to pour this concrete, a bag of concrete inside of there. This bucket's hanging on the plumbing there and suspended about 1 inch off of there, so it's not set in there anyway. This is a flat, even, smooth coat. But it was literally a recess. When I pulled the vanity out, the old vanity, it left like this hole in the floor, and I had to pour that whole slab in there. So yeah, but the CIA has this whole. This is just a script the CIA gave me, and I'm talking all this garbage to cover up the work that I really do with the CIA, covering up Bob Lazar and discrediting whistleblowers like him by showing people the real anti-gravity technology. Yeah, that's my job. Anyways, yeah. Um, so yeah, this was the bathroom before I ripped everything out too. That same blue tub you can see. So yeah, I made that up though. I didn't really do any of this work, any of these miter cuts or this trim work around here. This where I had to pull this out and replace because it didn't have a metal strip right here. Someone forgot to put the metal strip. I had to come back and rip these 4 or 5 tiles out and do that repair. This is some of my miter work. It could have been a little tighter on this, but whatever. Lines up the grout joints. This is me cutting the baseboard pieces and grinding them down. Setting a kitchen floor, what will be the hotel kitchen at this hotel we did. This is the bathroom tile, and I did in my apartment because I was tired of looking at ugly wall in front of the toilet. That's my dinner. This is my knee pads and my tile cutter and all my miter work that I did on this floor. Again, it doesn't matter. I put that piece in. It didn't matter. This is what I looked like before I did that backsplash thing there. This was someone else's miter work that I came in. This is my miter work here, and this was theirs that I could come in to replace, and I ended up fixing that for them. This is my same shirt at my job site. That was all planted there as part of the whole CIA operation, ahead of time, just so you guys know. This is ridiculous. I'm not even reading that. I got to get back to the chat, the comment feed in here, so I can see what people are saying. The Earth is square. Yeah, see, this is great. I set up to live chat so it doesn't filter out the comments. Yeah, but yeah, I'm real meticulous and careful about all the work I do. I do a lot of tubs, bathrooms, more so bathrooms than the kitchens. This is kind of like a fun project I did. I'm doing a little more detail work on this pirate ship, and I got to fill in some trees and stuff in this area, and a couple other things. But I built this lighthouse and this on a. This is the band studio. Another floor and more shelf work, miter cuts, edge miters. That one's a little messed up. This is the mosaic in progress. I was still finishing some of it. I kind of rushed that sky part, but I wanted the detail to be on the lighthouse and the pirate ship, really, to kind of bring that out. But yeah, I do those custom mosaics, and I do it on a piece of 1/8" fiberboard, and this was a wood panel floor. It looks like wood flooring, but it's not. And that's on top of this special type of membrane that isolates it. And I had to patch these cracks and pour leveler and patch a lot of the floor beforehand to repair it. But we got it done, and it looked nice. And this slab was in bad shape when I first got there, but I know how to. I have the right kinds of mortars, and I know all the technology to deal with that kind of stuff, so I was able to patch that up and deal with it. No problem. This floor came out really nice, and I really charged them way less than I should have charged them because they were major pains in the asses, and I did tons of extra work and extra stuff for them, and they had no appreciation for it, and it was just horrible and all. But In any case, this was a really cool pattern with these two in the room with the two mirrors that faced each other. This was another interesting thing we did with this tile, these tile cuts on all these edges and stuff. And these, you know, all these were fun. And this one was the funnest tile on the whole job site. This big U cut. Those are incredibly hard to make, especially on a 2-foot by 4-foot tile. That was the hardest cut on the job site by far, right there. And dude, I'm like Thomas Jefferson. I seriously, I'll like be up doing conspiracy stuff. I'll pass out at like 11:30, and then I'm up at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning every morning, like no matter what. Sometimes if I stay up real late, I'll sleep till like 8 or something. And sometimes I take naps during the day, though. I do. I'm guilty of that. I get tired and I burn out during the day sometimes, and I'll take a nap. But this is that piece right here, fitting it in. That's cutting it. That's where it went. All these edge cuts I did with an underscriber tool that I had. It's a very it was a very useful tool. There's a mock-up I made of it. I was like, I have the tool at home, but I made like kind of a makeshift one to show the idea of it, and we used it to cut one piece. But it took a while, and it wasn't very accurate. This was amazing. That these guys, this job, I was just laughing at them doing this. They had to glue this felt to the ceiling, and they put glue all over it, and they had to put it up without getting any glue on the outside part, you know, because it would mess up the fabric. And they screwed it up, I think, the first time, and it was just funny to watch them. Not funny, but it was just like, yeah, funny that it wasn't me trying to do that. But yeah, doing all these cuts, piecing them in, you dry fit them in first. These are dry fit, and then you mortar them in, and clip them in with these clips to bring up the lippage and these large format tiles, and it makes the floor nice and flat. Bob Lazar is not telling the truth, all right? Bob Lazar was running a Honeysuckle Ranch prostitution ring. You can look up the court documents from it, the time he was supposedly working out at Area 51. He was using the Area 51 story as a cover to tell his wife at the time about why he was disappearing at strange hours of the night, and why strange women would call from the Honeysuckle brothel that he was running, and they would call up Bob Lazar and basically be like, tell him that they were calling from Area 51 and that he needed to come into work at the base, but it was really the brothel and was all code for the operation he was running. And that's where he met Gene Huff, who was the real estate agent, and who introduced him to John Lear, and the three of them were going out in those, you know, excursions. They're the ones who made up the whole story. He never worked at Area 51. He got the whole Element 115 thing from the May 1989 edition of Scientific American. You can look it up. I posted about this. Anyways, this floor had to be leveled and set in. I'm going to get back to my more relaxing work than debunking, you know, frauds like Bob Lazar, who filed for bankruptcy in 1985. You have the court documents from that, the whole bankruptcy filing. He wouldn't have gotten past the security clearance to get a job to be hired into Area 51 in the base if you have a bankruptcy filing within 5 years. That's a dead red flag that shows that you're desperate and you're in need of money and you make poor financial decisions. He's the perfect target for espionage because he needs money, and you know, if he's working on the most top secret program in the U.S., then he'd have every reason to try to sell it for money and try to make money off it, or try to, you know, do something with that information, which is exactly what he did with the Bob Lazar tapes. Him and Gene Huff did. They made money off the whole thing, and then they came back to milk it out residually, you know, here and again before. So this is what's called a dry pack. It's when you mix up cement, a cement base, you know, just regular cement and sand, and you do it really dry, and then you pack it in, and you run like a leveler over it, and you pack it into the low spots, and you tamp it all down, and you smooth it out nice and flat, and then you come back with leveler if you need to, and really flatten it out if you need to. But this is what it looked like beforehand. It was very uneven. They had built this whole piece in, this whole staircase piece in. And luckily we didn't have to cut these in and do these scribes for this. This was all carpet, so it was another guys that had to do that nightmare. And they totally underbid that job. They bid it at 2 days with all the square footage that they thought it was going to take. But it ended up taking them like a week and a half because of all those wacky cuts. But anyways, not my job. But the same company that I worked with on this job. But yeah, we did this whole building at the college down in Rhode Island. I had to repair a couple tiles here. That was what the slab looked like underneath the subfloor in this high school. It was built in the 1920s. That's what the subfloor looked like. I don't know what they were going to do there to fix that, but yeah, I've been on some big friggin' jobs, dude. Like I don't take those kind of big jobs because I wouldn't even know how to. I mean, they're hard to. I would work for hourly because I wouldn't know how to bid on that, and I wouldn't want to get in over my head because I'm not like that good with the bidding and the estimates that yet. I can do like small bathrooms and stuff that I've done enough of them where I know how long it's going to take me, or a backsplash or something like that. You know, this backsplash I did. Very nice. Came out very nice and even, spaced and centered with the geometry that he picked. Yeah, I like doing more detail and fine residential work than that big commercial work like the schools and the universities and stuff. But during the summer, there's just tons of that work, and they just need guys like. You know, they hire like freaking crazy because they just need guys. But anyways, yeah, this is all I did this fireplace surround with this onyx stone. I'm just gonna keep going. That's what it looked like before. My receipts. Yeah, I want to show you guys I don't mess around, and if you guys want a tile guy to do some serious work for you, then that lady wanted me to bid that pool, and I told her I'm all set with that job. It's just kind of too big for me to take on. I might go back and take it like next winter if I need work, and I'm getting summoned, but yeah, that's my buddy with this job, another rip out and replacement. You know, all this stuff I've been doing. A little shelf like that to match this freaking other tile work. This was a nice one. This backsplash. I had to do this piece in the corner and stuff. So, cut my finger. I did this tile in the mall at a store I won't name or talk about what they sell. Anyways, yeah, I've done some big jobs, man. So yeah, this is work, bro. I don't work for the CIA. I do real work for fucking. That's how I make my money. And working for yourself, you make more money than working for other people, and that's why I do it. And yeah, I want to just leave the stream at that. And please, guys, go to the links in the description and help support my other side projects and stuff. And if we discover this warp drive technology, bro, I won't be tiling. I'll be building real crystal ladder structures for warp drive skins on our warp drive craft. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.